Hustlers, hustlers, hustlers. What's cracking? It's your boy Dashaun. I got my big brother in the building, Mr. Lee Haight.
My brother from another mother right here,
man.
okay? Sky Diamond.
Just trying to make something out of nothing. Just another day of hustling. Just another day.
A special episode, everybody on the YouTube. If you don't know my man Dashaun, we're putting both of these episodes on my channel and on his channel. This man has got some incredible content. We're gonna be talking about door-to-door selling in a pandemic. We think there's a bunch of contracting coaches out there that are sissies. They're talking about different ways to get their business, but they neglect door-to-door.
Run away from that door-to-door grind, man. And that's the bread and butter.
Well, we're gonna talk a little bit about your thing, which is more about storm catching, man. How's that work?
Most people, they storm chase. What I mean by that, a nice storm come through, they go into a different state, all these things. So I'm a little bit different. I tell everybody I don't storm chase, I storm catch. What do I mean by that? I don't chase storms, I chase age.
And he's gonna show you how he gets 90% roof spot and how he has a effective business in the same location, and it's an insurance restoration business. Also, we're gonna be talking about, the unrest, the racial injustice, knocking doors. Both of us, we're really have a story that just kind of talks about what's going on and trying to make sense of this whole thing, because there's a lot of hurt people out there hurting people.
It is, and hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, man, so
gotta focus on the positive and all this craziness, man. And being a black man out here doing door to door, I can honestly say it's not as bad as people may think, and it's a lot of positivity that come out of it. So.
Well, I know one thing. I couldn't have done it with, without the team, man. And I'm telling you one thing. This man right here has been an amazing asset to our team, and I believe every roofing company should be looking to diversify their impact. And we're going to be talking about how you can diversify your impact in roofing, in an initiative that we feel like blue collars really should take up, as an opportunity.
100%.
Because there's people out there riding him. It's because they don't have a vehicle to get what they want in life.
Vehicle don't get them where they want to go. A vehicle that don't keep them focused on the right things. And so I think
there's also a stigma associated with door-to-door and roofing. I was ashamed to be a roofer. I was ashamed to say I go door-to-door.
Well, it's funny you say that. My first year, I wouldn't tell nobody I went door-to-door.
Right.
Like, I was completely, didn't want to tell nobody. I thought it was, the scum of the earth, I'm a door-to-door salesman. Now, I feel like I got the best job in America, man. I feel like if you do anything other than what I do, you wasting time, because I get so much time with my family and make a great amount of money. I don't feel like there's many things better than what we do, if you ask me.
Now's the time to show them about the collaboration here. We've got the Hustler's Guide to Door-to-Door and Contracting Growth Secrets. We are going to be doing a door-to-door training for all contractors, roofers, and it's going to be something that you've never seen anywhere else. If you haven't picked up a copy of my book, you can go to contractinggrowthsecrets.com and you can reach out to Dashaun on
Instagram at Roof Hustlers, or you can shoot me an email, roofhustlers@gmail, and I get you a copy of the Hustler's Guide to Door-to-Door, man. Help you take your game to that next level.
All right, let's get into selling during a pandemic, okay?
Yes,
we have a conversation with a lot of different contractors. He's coaching people. How I met him on the internet, I saw him coaching a contractor, and I listened to some of his content. Like, man, this guy's got it going on. And there's a whole podcast about our story. We'll kind of leave that for the podcast. What I want to talk about now is kind of the tactics, okay? We want to get right into the strategy, because you're out there selling. You're kicking ass. You're out in the sales contest. You're winning the sales contest in a lot of areas. How has this pandemic affected you, and what do you think you have to say to a roofing owner or a company owner whose company has slowed momentum or they've been shut down because of this pandemic?
My personal opinion, man, I believe it start with your mindset. I believe a lot of people, they in their head than in the field, because we even took 2 weeks off, week and a half off. I took a trip up to Tennessee. They just got hit with a real bad tornado, connected with a company up there. And we went door to door right after this tornado hit. And I just saw how homeowners didn't care about a virus
when it was their property.
Investment was at risk.
Right.
So I was like, man, it can't just be a Tennessee thing. You know what I mean? It got to be a nationwide thing. So I came back home, got back to work, knocking doors. I've probably been out there knocking doors now for the last 2 months, month and a half, man. Maybe 1 or 2 people said something about the coronavirus. And I just come to realize that when they biggest investment at risk, they ain't tripping about no virus.
No, you have to get out there because you're essential. You have to let people know about avoiding unnecessary expense. But as an owner, I felt like the burden, because I didn't want anybody to be killed on behalf of my sales guys going door to door.
You did a real good job with that, man.
Well, after 2 weeks, I felt like I overreacted a little bit, but it was only 2 weeks that I had these guys sign forms that said they wouldn't go door to door. And it was almost like a death sentence. Yeah. It felt like we had so much momentum going, and then it was almost like
we just stalemated it for a second.
Yeah.
But
then we had to come back.
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to let everybody out there know that's in other states and things like that. Of course, you want to be respectful of people. Keep your 6 feet. I mean, don't be coughing on people. Keep your hand sanitizer with you. But I'm telling you, I'm out there knocking doors daily. And I got people walking up to me, shaking my hands. You know, they want to give me hugs. So I'm telling you, the coronavirus, it's all in your head. So if you out of state, because we in Florida, don't get me wrong, Florida a little bit reckless than most.
Yeah, we're not saying that the coronavirus isn't real.
Not at all.
What we're saying is that you can keep your social distance. You can work outside. Because you're outside, the vitamin D is going to protect everybody. 100%. All right. I know a lot of roofers. Here's the real truth. There wasn't very many roofers that got sick. Okay, there was people, friends of friends, that were maybe inside. The worst thing you could have for one of those viruses is stay inside. Everybody that's working outside, that's going door to door, they're not getting sick. And so selling during a pandemic is all mental. And one of the things I want to go ahead and talk about is the digital door knocking, which the video ads where we actually, we put the videos out in the areas, we're able to get leads that come. And really, it's not just being able to generate the leads, but it's being able to teach the sales guys how to go on camera, make their own videos to create leads. And we've been working a lot with Dashaun, but more importantly, it creates, a culture where the door-to-door guy knows that there is some reinforcements. And there's some leads behind that. So, the balance of making lead babies versus creating a door-to-door company.
What I like to call them is a zoo lions versus an African lion.
A zoo lion versus an African lion. All right, tell me about this. Let me get some geography.
A zoo lion, they don't really got that drive. They don't got that hunt. Why? Because the trainer wake up and he feed them every day. Mm-hmm. He just put that meat out there and he just go eat it. But that zoo lion, that African lion, he getting up every day. He going on the hunt, because if you know anything about lions, they get a thrill from the hunt. So they're going to go out there and eat regardless what's going on. The pandemic, shortage in the savannah, they're going to go out there and get it. So I always tell all these sales companies, man, you don't want to create a bunch of zoo lions because they're going to get lazy, they're going to get fat, and they just wait around for you to feed them. You want to breed African lions, ones that's going to go out there and hunt, bring the kill home.
Let me tell you about the strongest African lion that we have in Scott Diamonds. You know him. His name's Good Golly Miss Molly Omar O'Golly.
Oh yeah.
And he's a beast, dude. And so he's a small company, but he does like over 500 roofs a year. And what he has been able to do, he was hesitant about going on video, but he loves door to door, and he was able to take his personality, get comfortable on video. Now his leads consistently give him 5 or 6 deals a day, and he gets to tell his story. And so shout out to my man out of Houston. And he's an example of a storm catcher. Omar don't leave. He
just like me.
He stays in Houston. He catches his deals. He goes door to door. He works his neighborhood. There's plenty of roofs. So we're going to brings us to the next segment about storm chasing versus storm catching. Now, a lot of you want to know, how do you do insurance? Look, you look for old roofs, wind damage, hail damage, and even winter storm damage. So, Dashaun, you've been in Tampa how long?
5 years. I've been working in Tampa for the last 5 years.
Okay, so in that time period, I've thought about working Tampa before. I heard it was a great market. What makes Tampa so great? Why you stay there? What's going on?
What makes Tampa so great is, first of all, believe it or not, it's a pretty old city. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of houses that built between the ages of 2000, let's say 5 to 1999, 1998. I've found some as old as 1996. Mm-hmm. And what people don't understand about this insurance restoration game is the older the roof, the better. Mm-hmm. Because, we can fight on repairability. Mm-hmm. The roofs just get damaged easier. So I like people to go chase the storms. Go chase them. And then you just leave me in my hometown by myself, and I'm just going to catch all the people that you miss out on. So I don't believe you need to go chase storms to make money. I've been consistently selling over $1 million the last 4 years from working the same market. I'm still working neighborhoods now that I was working my first year in the industry.
Now, I keep my eyes on the whole United States, but my entire career I worked in 40 different states, and I've been everywhere, man. And my idea whenever I came to Florida and sold Grant Cardona Roof was I saw some people working hail damage in Stuart, Florida, and they were getting tile roofs approved. And I was like, oh my God, this is gonna make a difference, because I believe that if you increase the average transaction value, that you can increase the quality of your life. You can do more profit off of less jobs. And so, I came here to learn the process, and we'd got a license in Florida, and I thought maybe I could have a company in Florida that had enough work that we didn't ever have to leave. And my goal was I didn't want to have to travel away from my wife. I didn't want to have to my kids are like now, 12 years old, 6 years old, and I don't want to be away from them from the time period. When I chase storms, we can make good money, but there's a lot of expense. There's missing moments. And so, my game now, I've noticed a transition. The rise of the local contractor, the guys that invest in their Google presence, that know how to advertise for profit, they create the leads. They have consistency. They work old roofs. So what we teach with the blue collar marketing method, because we're in a 3 years since the storm here in Naples, and we have a lot of gated communities. We've generated a ton of business off of hand-addressed direct mail. So I teach my guys how to do sales letters, and we target the roofs that are old. We send them direct mail. We also, of course, make the most money off of knocking doors, but we also use the digital marketing. And so storm chasing versus storm catching is almost like you're a hunter versus a hunter-farmer. Mm-hmm. And as a guy who's farming an area, what do you think long-term are some secrets for door-to-door guys to just work the most out of a neighborhood? When they give up, but they should go a little harder. What do you think?
Well, first of all, most people feel like they worked the neighborhood because they've been there one time. Mm-hmm. I feel like you haven't worked the neighborhood till all the neighbors know you. Mm-hmm. When you step into the neighborhood, they're like, "Oh, you back." That's how you know you really worked the neighborhood. And then what I always recommend doing is having a plethora of neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. So I always spend about 15, 20 minutes on my own just finding neighborhoods. So if you got a big book of business, because my personal opinion, your neighborhoods is your currency in this industry. Mm-hmm.
Your neighborhoods are your currency. It's a bomb. My man Bradley, he drops bombs. That's a bomb.
The more neighborhoods you got, the more money you can make, and then that's how you can stay in your city and really get that milk from the cow, really like get the most out of your city. So, and then being on top of your storm days, because in Tampa.
Let me explain something too about a little bit of our sales system that makes it a little different too. It's a change. The idea that if you will actually complete the offer, you'll sit down with the customer, yep. You'll give them the pictures, you'll actually give them a hail or wind history report, mm-hmm. and you'll follow up with them with a written proposal. Even if you don't give them a price, what we found is that prepares the deal to get bought better on, yep. And it teaches the sales rep how to pre-cap the jobs.
Yeah, and that's something I didn't know until I came in.
So, pre-cap, yeah. And it's because there's a myth that sometimes all you want to know is sales and roof. And there's a knock-star pay plan for that. But Dashaun, after you've been doing this for years, you want to know how it all works.
Yeah. I want to know start to finish.
Yeah, and if you don't give someone a place to grow, then they go. And, all I did with Dashaun was I gave him an option. You can have a knock-star or you can be a profit-sharing partner. And now you're pre-capping jobs, supplementing deals. You're about to be adding some, just project management training, mm-hmm. and stuff to the whole repertoire of what you bring to the table. Yeah. And that's really great, but more importantly, I think we represent something different. We rise above all this madness. It was a day on Instagram that I saw you making an impact, and it clicked to me that we could really work together. And I think that the point is that there's a lot of injustice in the world. What do you think that somebody, a roofing owner or a contractor, they're looking at all this stuff, they get angry. The COVID-19, they get anxious. They've had to shut down their business. Mm-hmm. You think it plays into them not going door to door? And, what do you say to, this being a place where, there's inequality and systematic racism?
Well, I think that's a fact on its own. Unfortunately, black people ain't always been treated fairly throughout the United States. But
you think?
Yeah, I know, right? But
what'd you say? You said civil rights?
Oh yeah. So here's a little clip that I seen where they say, the gay community, they protested for equal rights, and black people back in the days, we just wanted civil rights. We just wanted to be treated civil. So it's just crazy to even say that. But my personal opinion, I feel like there's no better time in America right now than to be a minority.
Yeah.
I feel like we actually being seen now. We're actually being heard. And it feels good to see the world actually opening their eyes and taking off the blinders and taking off their shades and stop looking away from it, but now they actually looking it in the eyes. Mm-hmm. And just to see all these people like, Roger Goodell and like just all these corporations.
Yeah, he did a switch. Like, he was against protests, against putting the knee.
Now he's taking knee.
Now he's going to take a knee. Now, okay, so now, obviously he was wrong. The deal is like, look, I'm a redneck with a paycheck, all right? Mm-hmm. I have my problems with the police, all right? Usually my little smooth talking, get my out of situation, all right? Not to say I haven't dealt with that, knock on wood, in a long time. But I can tell you, like, I can't imagine, some of the things that I've seen on the internet, and I get so heated when when someone tries to, take advantage of my rights. And, it makes me rage. The other day I was in my neighborhood knocking doors and someone called the cops on me.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there a lot of times. But this time I woke up with so much hate and anxiety because of all the riots and all the stuff on the news. Hell, I woke up mad at the cops. And, I'm like, fuck the police and this has this mentality or whatever. I have no idea. I hate to say that. But basically I sold a roof, made a friend, and went to go talk to the neighbor. And, she denied me. She rejected me. I tried to talk to her. She didn't want to listen. So then she said I look like a burglar. And I'm signing up. I go back. I'm signing up my deal. And there's like 6 cops. And there's, they come out and they really put the 3rd degree on me. They don't believe me that I live in a neighborhood. And they, people come up.
Because you're door-to-door guy. That's why.
Yeah, because I'm a door-to-door guy. But I mean, to be honest with you, it would have been different. But you would have had, a lot more, challenging situation.
Yeah, a lot worse than that if I was the.
But
and speaking of the burglar, I was in a situation like that, same thing. And if anybody follow me on Instagram, I wear a bow tie every day, bright colors, very flamboyant with my swag. I'm in a neighborhood and the dude say, I see you walking around, there's no soliciting. I tell him I'm not soliciting, and he's like, you got a folder in your hand, and you got a phone. He's like, for all I know, you could be a burglar. And I looked at him, I'm like, a burglar? And I was like, is it because of how I look? And then he freaked out.
He got scared.
He freaked out. Yeah, he's like, no, it's not.
I'm not a racist. I'm not a racist.
Pretty much. He was just trying to backtrack his words. And one thing I don't do is I don't feed into ignorance. So I don't give people my energy. So I'm like, man, you ain't worth it. So I just walked off, got in my car and left. And there's another lady across the street that heard him, and she's looking at him like, oh, don't go there. But
that's a bomb right there. I mean, there's people in life that are energy vampires, and you have to rise above it. You have to say, who are the 5 people I spend the most time with? And if these guys have negativity, if there's constant negativity, you have to separate yourself from that. Focus on yourself, because what you focus on, what you embody, if you're worried about the world ending, well, there's no way you can manifest good things happening in your life.
Eric Thomas said, where your focus goes, your energy flows. So if you focused on the negativity, more of that gonna come into your life. So, I focus on as many positive things as I can. And I done had interactions with the police, and I'll be 100% honest, man. They weren't bad.
No, I'll tell you.
Get out the car, all this stuff. I was in Tennessee speeding. 2 girl cops, white cops, pulled me over. You know what I mean? I said a little thing to them, sparked their interest. It's like, you know what, you here helping out with a tornado, we're going to let you go on a warning. Just get up out of here. So it's like, I done been in interactions with police, and they all ain't been bad. So, of course, it is some bad apples out there.
I'll tell you,
I don't want to generalize all the police.
My first video I did is called Highway to Hell. You can find it on YouTube, HAIL. And I went to Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh, man.
And I interviewed a cop. And she was a black lady, and she was just, the interview was so funny. But the huge hailstorm had damaged the roof, and it brings me to an initiative that me and you said, that these people that are pissed off at the system, they must not know about the insurance restoration, about sky diamonds, about the fact that you don't have to do the roofs, you can sell the roofs, and if you learn how to help people get roofs paid for by the insurance company, you can access the largest commissions to do whatever the fuck you want in life. And I want to tell you, I want to get people that have been oppressed, people of color, the minorities involved in my university. I have a scholarship program. We've been giving out free training, and I want to make sure that everybody knows, I've helped a lot of people that were felons. I've helped a lot of people that we had this program, and they're reformed individuals. We call them constant contractors. And one of my man, he came into our program. He was a $13 an hour cook, and he was a great, talented young man. He worked with us. He built $5 million in sales, and now he has his own roofing company. He's licensed in the state of Florida. He's a millionaire. And I want to see more people like that, regardless of their color.
I agree. I think it's important to diversify the roofing industry, because one thing I know, just being a black man growing up, we typically seen drug dealers, football players, rappers.
Not roofers.
Not roofers.
Or roof hustlers.
You know what I mean? None of those things. So it's like, you can't become something that you can't see.
That's
so
right.
Once you see it, you could be it.
Yeah.
So I think it's important for, young, and I say this for Hispanic people too, because most of them only doing the roofs.
Yeah.
But now I'm running to a lot of
They want
Hispanic
to sell.
guys that sell the roofs.
Yeah, and I see a lot of it in my population too. And look, man, I mean, you could do it. And I have a guy, Louis O'Neill, he has an accent, but he's a highly efficient guy. He does a small overhead and $4 million in sales. He's like a 7-figure earner.
Man, I think the diversity is just so key, because I used to work with a Hispanic gentleman. He was Cuban, spoke a little bit of English, a lot of Cuban. He used to average 7 to 8 deals a week because he could hit that Spanish market. So if you only sticking with one type of person within your company, you actually losing out on money. So I think diversifying your salespeople going to diversify your money is going to bring you more income, and you're going to help change a lot of people's lives, man.
And so here's what brings us into our next subject, which is the Sky Diamonds and Roof Hustlers collaboration. We're going to diversify your roofing training. We're going to take you hardcore door to door. We've been involved in a epic door to door sales contest inside of our RCA. And you know, one thing that overall, contact over content. Both of us are content creators. But one of the things you help sales teams do is unify and get trained in through Zoom calls. So talk to me a little bit about that.
So that's Roof Hustlers University. What we do is I take your team through a 3 to 4 week training course, and I teach them the game, the ins and outs, how to read policies, how to close deals, how to overcome objections, just the mindset. Because once you get your mind right, you can get your grind right. You know, that's the biggest thing. So that's Roof Hustlers University. And then I come out in person as well. I do that in-person training, spend a little bit more one-on-one time with your guys, because what I've come to learn and realize that most sales managers only care about numbers. But I done met some of these sales guys out here in the field, man, and they got personal issues that they got going on that they owners don't even know about. So I get to bring them that information and allow them to lead their teams better. Because of course we're gonna close some deals. Of course we're gonna help them make some money. But most importantly, we're gonna help them become a better organization so they're a more close-knit family, and now they all on one accord and moving in one the same direction.
Now look, guys, Dashaun has made an impact in our team. He's made an impact in our organization. And so I've decided to bring him into Sky Diamonds University as one of our certified coaches. He's learned our methods and completed offers, and we're teaching him the whole like sell, build, collect system, the digital door knocking system. And so what I want you to know is that we're about to come up with the best sales training. It's Jerry Rice versus Deion Sanders, the very best receiver versus the very back, and we're gonna go back and forth handling objections, and this is gonna be so that you can study with both Roof Hustlers and with me, so that you know you can add personality, you can stay engaged, and we're gonna do something different that no one else has done. We're still in the field. Maybe you saw me get punched in the face. Maybe you saw the episode where Taylor was out trying to get stabbed. You know, we got a lot of new stuff that's coming, but I wanna tell you, like the most important reason why I partnered with Dashaun was because I believe in the principle of collaborate to dominate. And you may wonder why Sky Diamond, someone who does roofing sales training, would partner with Roof Hustlers, because I'm about impact over income, and I see that the bigger picture is, look, we're gonna diversify this thing. We're gonna bring people in, you know, and you might engage with somebody else that I can't engage with, and that, guys, is the most important thing. Getting your door-to-door team running in the field. I went in the field with my door-to-door team, went knocking with him one day. We went to every single office to research this. And if you're a business owner, I want to like challenge you to take this like initiative to set the pace. And you should have both of our trainings, but I want you to know in the future, we're going to be collaborating, Roof Hustlers inside of Sky Diamonds. And you know, the guys that have gotten training in Roof Hustlers, from me, one of the things that you can get is how digital door knocking works, video ads, creating inbound leads, and how to build sales teams that actually run into companies that run themselves. And you know, I think that I need more coaches like Dashaun to help really make that contact to go along with that content. And since we've aligned, since he's got trained up in the roofing professionals way, I trust wholeheartedly that if Dashaun and I come to your office, that you will get like the same quality of sales training, the same quality of motivation. So that's why Jerry Rice and Deion Sanders here are partnered up when it comes to making interactive door-to-door sales training. That's coming soon.
And it's probably something they probably ain't seen in the industry, where two separate, consulting businesses come together and we collab and we take their business to that next level while taking our business to that next level. But just showing that it ain't always got to be, competition, like going against each other. You can come together and build a dynasty.
Now, let's talk about competition and going against each other, because I will go ahead and speak about what's different about us than other door-to-door coaches, roofing growth coaches, roofing marketers, anybody that you're watching on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram about growing your roofing business. Listen, if coaches that don't believe in door-to-door are teaching you how to grow their business, look, you have to ask yourself, would I trade places with that person? And why is that person logically not talking on the, like whenever you do a build, it's not logical that you wouldn't knock on doors of the neighbors. And if you're spending money on marketing, it's not logical that you wouldn't get a lead and then knock the neighbors' doors. It's actually the combination of hardcore sales and marketing that makes companies grow from 1 million, 5 million to 10 million, 20 million, and even to 50 million and beyond if you really have the biscuit, because you have to risk it to get the biscuit. And there's a lot of people out there that offering coaching, and they're out there asking people questions about this product or that product. Look, it doesn't matter what the reviews on the product are. What you need is you need more door-to-door sales guys. You need guys hardcore door-to-door that can overcome objection. Yep. And right now I got complacency in a lot of my teams. They're busy watching these content coaches that are I call them sales bitches. Nice. I mean, I hate to say that, but if you don't believe in door-to-door and you're trying to teach roofing growth, I call that a snowflake.
I don't even know how you can even do roofing without door-to-door, seeing as the roof connected to the door.
My uncle, he did $90 million a year in Minnesota, as a matter of fact. 90 million, it was Turco Roofing, he did a bunch of roofs there. And he told me before he passed away, he said, Lee, there's one thing that you need to do to grow your roofing business. You need more guys like Dashaun. No, more realistically, you need more salespeople. The average salesperson sells $300,000 a year. You need to turn.
That's the average salesperson?
Well, I mean, you take the guys who sell zero with the guys who sell $1 million, and you're left with $500,000. Then you got your $400,000, your $200,000. Yeah. You end up at $300,000. So, but not maybe with the price of inflation, those numbers today are $500,000.
That's possible.
But let's say that you have you want to grow to $50 million. Well, if the average is 500,000, you need 100 sales guys. So you need a machine to recruit those guys. You need a machine to train those guys. You need leads to get those guys inspired in the field to knock doors around those guys. But it's not that you need the Google. It's that you need the Google with the door-to-door.
I think you need both.
Yeah.
I think you need both, man. And you need a healthy collaboration of digital door knocking and then real door knocking, because I've been able to do $1 million plus the last couple of years without digital door knocking. Now we implement digital door knocking into my grind. That's going to be like 2.5, 3 million easy, because now I'm saving myself time from knocking doors because I'm getting, Facebook leads. But while I got that Facebook lead, I'm going to go knock doors. So I think they go hand in hand. I think you need to be doing both. And if you're not knocking doors and you've run a successful business, man, I commend you.
Yeah, I commend you too, man. It's 7 o'clock in the evening. This has been an epic talk, guys. Yes, look, if you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to his channel. I'm Lee Haight, and I am honored to be here on Dashaun's channel. And if you want to check out my blue collar marketing method, you can go to contractandgrowsecrets.com. And if you aren't subscribed, we have another episode coming up. It's a podcast where we dive deep into his story and his first interactions with our RCA and this movement, this collaboration you're going to hear more about. So, hey, thanks a lot. We really appreciate you, man. Any final words? Let's get that.
Yes, sir. And as always, baby, hustle hard, hustle smart. Don't be afraid to bolt.
Yeah, man.
Hustle.